How to maintain a balance between energy and ecology, work and family, technical progress and nature. The ambassador of the Netherlands to Ukraine and his wife share with UATV their secrets. In the residence of the ambassador of the Netherlands, receptions are common. After all, the work of a diplomat arranges negotiations in various parts of the world and in different cultural environments. It is the methods which help together businessmen and public figures, representatives of non-government organizations, and officials for the exchange of views, ideas, and opinions.
One of the main tasks of a diplomat is to bring people together. And of course, the receptions in the residence or at the embassy are an excellent occasion for this. So we invite people from different walks of life. We can exchange views, and that is, I think, a big task also of a diplomat.
It's our task, both of us, to make people at ease, that they are, okay, we are here and we can do networking and talk to each other.
At the time when the ambassador has a few minutes of rest in his kitchen, his wife organizes the plan for the evening reception. The main principle for the Hoogste-Renits family is teamwork.
It's true that Odilia is about half of the time in the Netherlands and half of the time spending here with me in Kiev. Communication is very important. So, of course, there the technology helps. We do FaceTime, and in the evening we kind of evaluate the day, see, well, how was your day? So it's important to stay in communication. And on the other hand, we are spending a lot of time together when Odilia is here. Odilia is also sometimes accompanying me when we travel in Ukraine, for instance, to Lviv, Odessa, or to the eastern part of the country.
Another important rule in the family of the ambassador of the Netherlands is the attitude to family holidays and traditions.
Of course, we have the Christmas and the Easter, but for us, birthdays are very important. That's a sort of get together with family. The traditional days, like you have in Ukraine, is the same more or less for us.
Yeah, we follow the rituals also of the religious festivities, and we are very family-oriented. Although you see that, for instance, in a city like Amsterdam, almost 50% of the households consist of only one person. You see more individualization of the society. But even then, I think these traditions Odilia mentioned are still being paid attention to quite well.
This is the third generation of diplomats in the family. The ambassador of the Netherlands and his wife try to instill in the minds of their grandchildren a taste of nature, but often gadgets win.
It's a challenge, I think, and in the Netherlands it's even much more than here, because they have the iPhone, they know exactly to find a YouTube. There's every time there is something on television or whatever. But I think what is so important for children, that they are bored. When I'm, for example, with my grandson, and he's sitting behind me, and then he said, "Oh, me, can I have your iPhone?" And then I said, "No, Lodewijk, not my iPhone. We are going to watch if we can see an aeroplane, or maybe we can see a car who's red colored." And then a distraction of having this iPhone. Parents, that is a role model, so if they are active outside. I think here it's much more. In Ukraine they are much more in the forest, they walk, they eat, they do everything, picnicking, the shashliki together, so that's totally different. And in the Netherlands we have many forests as well, we have the seaside, so we can do enough to get the children out of the house.
Here we can learn from Ukraine, I think.
Definitely.
Because you have a very strong family tradition.
Yeah.
Ukrainians can gain experience in the use of alternative energy. After all, the Kingdom of the Netherlands is among the top renewable energy users in Europe. There are almost 75% of the trains operate on wind energy, and Dutch trams run on the technology of the burning of biomasses.
The Netherlands is going through a major transition, energy transition at this moment. The Netherlands used to be, regionally speaking, in Europe, together with Norway, the largest gas producer and gas exporter. But because of considerations of climate change, because of the need to decarbonize our economy, we intend to cease our gas extraction in the north of the country as soon as possible. So by the year 2050, all our households will be operating without gas.
In addition, the government plans to increase the number of electric cars on roads up to 200,000 by 2020.
At this moment, of course, the renewable energy sources are specifically oriented towards wind energy. Also, we are thinking of electrification of our energy, especially in the mobility sector, so electric cars, wind and solar energy. We are investing a lot in renewable energy, solar energy, wind energy, and the Netherlands government has accepted a climate, or is discussing a climate pact, so to say. It's politically quite sensitive because people think differently about this. To decarbonize our economy and to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 with 49%, and in 2050 by 95%. So that's enormous. That's, by the way, a field where we try also to support the ambition of Ukraine to diversify its energy sources. We organize seminars on how to use biomass in order to produce renewable energy also in Ukraine.
Like any transformation, society in the Netherlands searches for ways to replace fuel resources with bioenergy, which certainly requires new costs in conventional farms.
It's very hard for many people because energy, we use the energy as we always used it, but now it is a sort of topic of our government that climate change and we have to use different sources, of course, but it is, I think, day-to-day life it's very hard. There are many people cooking on gas. And you know, then they have to change the whole kitchen. So one way there's the government doing a lot of things, and the other way it are the private persons like you and me, and we have to do it. So that is, I think that is quite a challenge.
One of the spheres of cooperation between the Netherlands and Ukraine is the exchange of practical experience in the transition to renewable energy sources. Ukrainians joined this progressive movement in 2009, when the government passed the law on green tariffs. From 2020, the country plans a transition from green tariffs to the practice of green auctions popular in Western Europe. This will allow for the sale of clean electricity at an auction price for 20 years.
The Ukrainian people, of course, are quite aware of the difficulties of the energy field and the climate change and the need to decarbonize the economy. The study of renewable energies is also being implemented here in Ukraine. So we organize together with our Ukrainian friends seminars as to how to use, for instance, biomass, how to set up renewable energy sources in solar and wind energy. And it's important for Ukraine because there is a huge political debate going on the gas tariffs, for instance.
In Ukraine, the issue of energy affects not only environmental, but also foreign policy aspects. In particular, the construction of the Nord Stream 2 gas pipeline may increase the EU's dependence on Russia, as well as reduce Ukraine's income from the transit of blue fuel.
Nord Stream 2, basically a commercial project. It is a project about diversification of energy. Because it's important that we are not dependent upon one or two pipelines. So basically the Netherlands government is neutral on this issue because it's a commercial project. At the same time, we do realize that it has geopolitical consequences, especially for Ukraine. And that is why the Netherlands thinks it's very important that there will be a kind of a guarantee to continue gas transit through Ukraine, because we are talking about a lot of revenues for the Ukrainian government here. In that sense, at this moment, there are trilateral consultations between Slovakia and Russia and Ukraine. And we hope that these trilateral consultations will lead to a positive outcome. We do realize that everything has to be based, of course, also on profitability, efficiency, and durability, sustainability. But I am confident that there will be a continuation also of the transit through Ukraine.
Regarding respect for the environment in everyday life, the Netherlands can teach the whole planet. This is a country where the world's first store without plastic containers was opened.
Well, I think here that is still very common to use the plastic bag, the little plastic bags. Everywhere you have on the market, supermarket, the little plastic bags. That is abandoned in the Netherlands, and I think now in New Zealand there is it's a non-plastic supermarket anymore. I'm always thinking not macro, but more micro, because that is the way we are living in a little area. I think that you can take your shopping bag, look at the fruit in the supermarket, put it in your bag, don't put it in a plastic bag. And if you do a little bit like this, then we all help to make the world a nicer place.
A practical approach to solving global issues at the domestic level is typical for the Netherlands. They believe that if you don't wash your car every day and spend 5 minutes less in the shower, then you make a significant contribution to preserving the planet.
I think that you can do it in your household. You can do it. Close the door when you're leaving, because the heat is in the sitting room, not in the hall. Very minor things. Put the central heating a little bit lower, you know. So if everybody would do and think this way, then we can help a little bit.
You also don't have to eat meat every day, of course. Myself, I love steaks, but Odilia is very prudent on this, and so she prefers to have steakless days, so days when we don't eat meat, fish or anything else, just vegetables.
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
I love it once in a while.
But unfortunately, I'm not a vegetarian.
No. Most men are not vegetarian. They like the steaks, but I'm not very much in favor. For me, it's easy. It's very easy.
If the Ukrainian and the Dutch are looking for a topic for conversation, it is worth starting to talk about flowers. After all, nothing unites our people so much as the love for spring tulips or summer roses. In addition, such an initiative will give high commercial results for businessmen in both countries.
This year, I think more than 40 Dutch companies were presenting their flowers and their products. And I must say that it was like a very festive moment. You know that almost 80% of all the flowers here in Ukraine are being exported from the Netherlands to Ukraine. And that I think on tulip bulbs, more than 99% of the tulip bulbs in Ukraine are coming from the Netherlands. Ukraine and the Netherlands. We are both, I think, huge friends, flower business. We like flowers, we love flowers, it brightens our life. And you see that Ukrainians, like the Dutch, they present flowers on special occasions like birthdays and so on.
Although the ambassador's residence is often a venue for social events, there is a special family atmosphere here. It includes respect for the beloved one, inner freedom, and communication on the most favorite topics.
Well, Odilia and I have been married already a long time, many years. And I think the success is respect for each other and also to give each other a certain freedom. Do not monitor everything the other one does. At the same time, stay in communication with each other. Talk about what you are doing. When you read a book, talk about it, advise the other to read it or not to read it. So communication, respect and freedom, I think, are the key words for a good and happy marriage and a lasting marriage.
sometimes it's hard being the perfect mother, you can't be a perfect mother, and to have this career. And for men, there's a huge discussion now in the Netherlands that they say, okay, men, it's more easy to get to the top than for women. That is still a very hard part due to women, the way women are thinking. Am I good enough? Is this what I can? And then they have to be the perfect mother as well. So it is a sort of balance you have to find. But I think it's very important that women nowadays have a job, have an interest, working. And if that consists staying at home because you want to be the mother and that is really your skill, you have to do it, and that's a possibility in the Netherlands as well. But I think if you have the best of both worlds, you're the most happy women, and a happy woman, that is very important, to have a happy husband at home.